Hey, it's good to be here. The weather is interesting. I think I start every video almost talking about the weather, but we've had beautiful weather, and then today was more summer-like. The sun is warm these days, but I'm in the shade right now. I'm here a little bit later. It's mid-September. Just a blessing to be outside and be able to be here. I'm making more bundles. I think I did that on my last video. I have a self-serve wood stand at a friend's house, and he told me a week ago, like, hey, it holds 16. Someday I should probably show what I made. It's all made out of pallet wood, and then I had some tin left over from my woodshed at home, and I put that on top. It's been nice. Yeah, I get some wood stolen. People don't always pay for all the bundles they take, but it's in an area about an hour from where I live, so I wouldn't even be in that market. So it gives me a little bit of income there. And so I was gonna make some more bundles. It holds 16 bundles. He said last week there's 6 left, so I need to restock that. So when I do, again, anytime I'm gonna deliver bundles to like quote unquote retail, I try to make fresh, and I make, in this case, I'll make 16, I hope. That way, if I don't use them all, I'll just put them in my woodshed at home. You can see, I imagine, the pile that's left, it's gotten smaller. So I'll be curious how many. I'm hoping there's enough at least to make 16, and maybe a little bit more. But that's what I'm doing here. That's why I'm here. But I wanted to kind of reach out to you guys. I've got this going around in my head all week of firewood and equipment. So this is my 5th year. I've probably said that before, of selling firewood, and I enjoy it. And it's always, it's always been called by people in my family hobby, and I do the same. I'd love to say it's a business, but it's not. It's hobby. It's pretty small, but it has been growing. 2024, it doubled from the previous year, and it blew out all my inventory. So I've been trying to replace it, and that's kind of where the problem comes in, if that's the right term. Of, is this a hobby, or am I starting to lean in toward more of a business? And if it's more of a business, then I need to maybe start thinking that way. So, or even if it's a hobby and it's a fun hobby, yeah, maybe still just continuing to think about expanding. So I have all year been at trying to split and trying to produce as much wood as I can. And I wish I had measured over each time I come, but I feel like with my Wolfridge 28C, and this is me, I'm sure other people can put out a whole lot more, but I'm the only one here, so that means I have to stage the wood. I've got to get the wood on the log lift. I've got to put it in, I split it, and I have a 4-way, so I need to pull that wood back and resplit it down to the size that I like. And usually it's around something like this, maybe a little bit bigger. That's what I've been told by people. They really like the size of the firewood that I sell, so I want to cater to that and and do that. But that is a lot of touches. I don't have machinery, don't have a tractor, slowly upgrading. So all that to say, my wife, you've seen her on videos, she comes over and she will stack, she will help, and we kind of do this together. I do a lot of the work. I'm the one that's here the most, but we talk all the time, and she's involved with helping me process just issues that come up, especially when it's financial and business kind of related. But anyway, I guess I'm rambling. So my brother and my dad They live right near each other. And I started selling firewood, like I said, this is my 5th year, and I think my brother really tried to kick it in a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, a year and a half. And they had a box door splitter, a little like what I started with, and then I upgraded before they did. Well, they upgraded and just got their commercial splitter a month ago. And so my dad, my brother works full time. My dad has more time available to him, so he will often try, if he can, about an hour a day, maybe a little bit longer. And my brother told me that he put 10 machine hours, so 10 hours on the machine 1 week, and he split as much as he normally would in about 2-ish months. It might have been a month and a half, but it was 4 cord that he did in 10 machine hours 1 week. Now they got an Easton-made 916 with a box wedge, and sometimes the grandkids help my dad, but a lot of times it's, I guess, just him. But that got me thinking, like, wow, what do I produce in an hour? And so over the years that I've been using the Wolfridge, and more lately, I just try to think, I fill that little push cart, and in an hour's time, again, with me getting all the wood, it feels like I probably do about 1/3 of a cord in an hour. Sometimes it's less, especially if I'm splitting the real big pieces. And what I've found is I can't keep up with my sales from 2024. Here we are, middle of August. I sold about 30 cord last year, and I'm out of dry wood, and I've only put up around 20 to 22 cord. So I haven't even replaced what was sold, and it's not even sellable. So at what point do you start thinking about or scaling up and spending some money so that you can produce more and have inventory that is both sellable as well as something that is working on being sold? So my wife on Monday morning this week, and today's Friday, she just kind of idly mentioned, like, because I had expressed that about how much my dad was able to split, and she said, you ought to think, maybe you should get a new splitter, which floored me because she's very conservative, doesn't like to spend money, make do with what you have. And I had been saying, like, I just can't produce enough when I get over here. I can't. And so that got me thinking, what would be next? Started looking at equipment, and I'm narrowed down to Easton made pretty quick because I've always wanted a box wedge, and I want an adjustable box wedge. Now there might be other manufacturers out there that have that, but most of them, it's stationary, it's set in that one position, and you can't move it. And so called my brother, I've been talking with him, I've been talking with my wife, called Easton Made, talked with them, and you can spend as much as you want, but it's what makes most sense. So I came down to, like, boy, the 2228 would really be ideal. That's the one. From what I understand, it's just my brother had ran one, and he's like, it's very impressive. You can put any piece of wood on it and it'll blow through it. Knots, huge rounds. Like, if you watch some of my other videos, I've had rounds up to my hip or just about. And or the 1222 box wedge. It's a little less power. But the issue I had with the 1222, it sounds like the perfect machine, but I kept coming back to what I have right now. The specs on it are basically the same, except it's not a box wedge. And I've had people tell me, yeah, but you have to run one. You got to run that Easton made 1222 to just really see what it can do. And so, like, my Wolfridge is a Honda, I think it's like a 13 horsepower engine, and then a 22 gallon per minute pump. It's been great. And that's about what the Easton-made 1222 comes out to. But it all comes back to money. What can I spend? And so I'm curious what you guys would do. What would be your recommendation? Do you go for the bigger, knowing that's a lot more money, don't really have that, or go for the smaller, even though I don't have it, but it's easier to swallow that money bill that I would have to pay? Or do I just keep using what I've got and try to maximize it? So yeah, put in the comments your thoughts. I've been rambling a long time. Hopefully I make sense. Yeah, I'd be curious. As I make these bundles, a couple other pieces to share as you contemplate this. I would sell the splitter I have right now, the Wolfridge, so that funds could be put toward the purchase of a upgraded machine. I have a little bit. I keep some money and save as I make sales for just future equipment purchases. So I've got a little bit there to go toward it. And then there would be this gap of money that I'd have to come up with to purchase a new splitter. And I think this is probably what all businesses face, is you got to put money out to make some money. And I think between what I'm thinking I could get for the splitter and the money that I already have saved and set aside, I would be within a few thousand of the 1222. And that's manageable to me. And I could get that raised in hopefully a decent amount of time. The 2228 would take quite a bit longer. Could be a year, 2 years, who knows? It just depends on sales. And then I don't have machinery to move that equipment around. These are all things going through my head. And I imagine I'd have to get like a hand trailer dolly, because it's quite a bit more weight. I think the Wolfridge is around 1,400 pounds. The 1222 is 2,000 or just over, and then the 2228 is like 2,500 pounds. So that's a lot of weight for me just by myself to try and move around my woodlot. And so just sharing a bit more information as I think of it. But I do recognize I need more capability. I was really hoping to save up for like a loader of some kind, but I know that's a long way off, because boy, those machines are very expensive. But I'm kind of stuck with what I can produce with my present equipment. So anyway, yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on the 2228 and especially the 1222, because that's kind of where I'm leaning. Is I think that would serve me quite well, and at least long enough until, if it could get me way ahead in production and sales really pick up, I think years down the road then, if I upgrade to something bigger, whether that's a splitter or perhaps a processor, but again, then you need machinery for that. But 1222 is where I'm leaning, with a 7-way box wedge, and then probably get a hand cart to move it in and out of the barn, as well as around the woodlot to bring it right to where I'm going to be splitting. So thanks. This is a real quick video. I'm gonna keep making some bundles, and so that I can go put these in my wood stand. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening. Appreciate any thoughts or comments you might have to help me in my decision making. Take care.